Hey guys, welcome back to Cruising with Matthew, and in my 12th episode in my P&O Oceana vlog series, I'm going to be talking all about our penultimate sea day, which was a little bit choppy, so I hope that you enjoy this. So as I woke up early in the morning, I definitely realised that the captain wasn't joking when he said that it was going to be a choppy crossing, because you could definitely feel that the ship was pitching a fair bit, and because of where our cabin was, which was right at the front of the ship, every time the ship hit a wave, the cabin juddered a little bit. So that was definitely something that was a bit unique. So we could tell that we were going to be in for a little bit of a bumpy ride. As we made our way up to the buffet, because luckily both of us felt quite well because we were thoroughly dosed up on anti-seasickness pills, we definitely realised the flaw in having a buffet right at the front of the ship. Although perfect for calmer weather when you're sailing into places like the fjords or the Mediterranean, these views would be fantastic. However, it did mean that because of how much Oceana was pitching, it meant that getting around was a bit harder than usual, because you had to kind of time your walking with the pitching of the ship. And I never thought I would see waves occurring in the vats of baked beans, but I managed to see it that day. So the people who were around were in good spirits and all laughing and joking as we attempted to make our way around the buffet. And me and Zoe felt very fortunate to feel quite well. These videos and pictures really don't do it justice, but believe me, Oceana was moving a fair bit. A lot of activities had been cancelled, unfortunately, and we weren't able to go onto the open decks in terms of the promenade, but we were in good spirits, so we decided to make the most of it. First on our list was a choir rehearsal. Now this had been moved to the Yacht and Compass Club, which was quite small for the amount of people in our choir group, but we made do and we were able to have a good run through all our songs. However, by this point, with the Yacht and Compass being situated quite near the front of the ship and also getting quite warm, that unfortunately tipped Zoe over the edge and she started to feel a little bit seasick. So we decided to go back to the cabin. So unfortunately, although starting off quite well, I think the motion of the ship was getting to her. And as the day went on, there were definitely fewer and fewer people around as Oceana pitched her way through the Bay of Biscay. Luckily for me, whether it be the seasickness tablets or being lucky enough to go on a few cruises beforehand, I felt completely fine, and to be honest, I was absolutely loving it. I love it when the ship is pitching and rolling, and I find it really exciting, although I appreciate not many people agree with me. Now, as Zoe decided to make her way back to the cabin, I realised that Leon, our entertainment manager, was doing a talk on the solar system. Now, what was really interesting was that he was actually a fellow of the Royal Astronomical Society. So although I was a bit late, I sat in and got to hear a huge range of information about the solar system, which was really interesting, even though the projector screen did seem to have a mind of its own at several occasions throughout that talk as the motion of the ship increased. And this is one of the things I love about cruises, because if you told me at the beginning of the cruise I would have attended a series of talks about prisons as well as the solar system, I would have disagreed with you, but you get to have such a variety of activities, and I really enjoyed that. And then went to see the guest talent show competition. As one of our table mates, John, was performing, I was really impressed with John's singing as well as everyone else who was performing, including the likes of some comedians and singers and things like that. Doing it in front of loads of people in a packed Starlight show lounge is really scary, so well done to them for doing that. So after the talent show, Oceana really was moving a fair bit, and I found a perfect spot to be able to see the waves. Due to the design of Oceana, there weren't really many places high up that you could get a good perspective of the movement of the ship. However, one spot that I really enjoyed was on deck 5 near the Explorer's Bar, where they had these huge picture windows. So I sat down fully intending to read my book. However, probably for an hour and a half I was captivated by watching these waves. I found it so mesmerizing. I also couldn't help but be a little bit in awe of the power of the ocean, and this is why I just love it when it is a little bit rough. And you could definitely tell there were people like me who were sat around these windows watching the waves, and then there were the other people who were kind of gritting their teeth and getting through it, and I definitely felt for the latter and felt very lucky that I wasn't one of them. So if you are one of the people like me, I've included several clips of Oceana as she sailed through the Atlantic and the Bay of Biscay. after spending a considerable amount of time watching the waves, I decided to head back to the cabin to check up on Zoe. Although not 100%, Zoe was desperate to make the most of our last formal night, and it was a bit of a shame that the last big formal night was dampened by the fact that the ship was still moving a considerable amount. We were in good spirits, so we decided to make the most of it. Our second to last meal on board Oceana was fantastic, and I think Zoe felt a bit better because she was distracted by our good conversation as well as the food, so we were able to make the most of the entertainment in the evening as well. Now, we were treated by yet another performance by the Soul Waves in the theatre. These guys were fantastic, and their second show was just as good as the last, covering a range of songs from the genre of soul and Motown. The only thing that was different was that they suggested that we stay in our seats instead of getting up to have a dance, and that was probably wise. But we had a fantastic performance, and considering what the weather was like, we had a really nice evening. As we made our way back to the cabin, we realised that the waves were starting to peter out a little bit, and the pitching and rolling wasn't as severe as it had been throughout the day. We were definitely hopeful that our last day at sea would be a little bit calmer, although this was going to be quite a sad day because we knew that we were going to be getting off in Southampton the day after. So, that was my 12th episode in my P&O Oceana vlog series, and I really hope that you enjoyed it. In my next episode, I'll be talking all about our last sea day as we made our way to Southampton. I really hope that you've enjoyed this video, and please like and subscribe if you have, because it's always appreciated. If you have any questions, please comment below and I'll do my best to answer them. If you want to know more about Cruising with Matthew, then take a look at some of my other social media links. They're included below, and this includes Facebook, Twitter and Instagram, as well as a Facebook group. I post in there daily, so I'd love to see you there. I hope you have a fantastic week, and I can't wait to see you in the next video. So this is Cruising with Matthew, and thank you so much for watching.